do you find yourself feeling slow lately?
Yeah, I do find myself feeling kinda slow.
Too much health on your hands? Maybe you want to try out for your local brawn ball team, but your spaghetti arms never quite made the cut. Or are you constantly being chased by machines, but find your stamina runs out a little bit too quickly? Well, my dudes, I have the answer for you. Rad Kits! I have been absolutely hooked on these medkits since they dropped, going all the way back to my God Mode and Generation Zero video from last year. Rad Kits are a double-edged sword, with seemingly more deficits than benefits. But today, I'm gonna tell you why lately I can't go without these self-destructive medkits. All the ins and outs of how to use them to the fullest, avoiding that radiation damage, and maintaining infinite stamina. Also, stay tuned for later on this week when I tell you dudes how I go about farming uranium to supply my addiction to rad kits, experimental med kits, and experimental ammo. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss a beat here on my channel. So first off, how do you obtain radioactive medkits? The only method right now is by completing the base building wave defense missions in the forest region. As you complete waves, you have a chance of obtaining an experimental schematic, either ammunition or the two types of experimental medkits come the completion of the waves. It's a bit of RNG, but once you're done fighting through the waves, you have a shot at getting the schematic for these suckers. Then it's over to a crafting bench to whip them up in batches of 40 at a time, which is more than enough to flow you until the next shot at doing the Our New Home mission again for further schematics and uranium. So first off, let's talk about how to avoid that radiation damage, as that will probably be one of the most off-putting things to players, keeping them away from using these and really seeing the benefits. Now there are two methods to avoiding radiation damage: pre-healing and post-healing. Pre-healing requires experimental medkits, so we'll discuss post-healing first, as it's the most open and least resource-intensive method of using rad kits. For post-healing, you can do this with any medkit in the game. Simply pop the radioactive medkit, let a little bit of damage tick in, then pop a medkit of your choice and the radiation damage will subside. But you can see that we still maintain that benefit of having constant stamina regeneration even while we're sprinting here. And for pre-healing, you need to use the experimental medkits or the medical first aid kits. Kinda doubling the uranium cost, but also being the method of going into God mode in GZ without any cheats or anything, just with the power of in-game items. Infinite health and stamina regeneration, you really can't go wrong stacking the two experimental medkits together, but you always have to remember to take that medical first aid kit first and then the radioactive second, so that way you aren't completely reducing your speed, kind of negating the infinite stamina thing. Now, that stamina regeneration does not last forever. It actually only lasts for a few short moments. But those few short moments can make an absolutely massive difference, especially when it comes to either escaping from machines or going on the offensive with melee weapons. So first up, here's an example of what melee combat is like with the rad kits. One of the biggest benefits is the ability to get full damage swings on the machines. When you run out of stamina when using melee weapons, it cuts your damage down pretty heavily and reduces the chance of getting a stun strike on a machine. With rad kits, you have full damage and, if you can get lucky, a ton of chances at EMPing the machine while you build up the Mjolnir swing for, say, the experimental hammer, which you can then pop on the machine you're fighting mid-combo or use on the ground to get the chain lightning to stun all the machines around you. The biggest pitfall of melee combat in GZ is our stamina just not holding up, which makes total sense, and I think is a good kind of immersion factor of the reality of bonking a machine's snoot with a baseball bat. With rad kits, you don't have to worry about your stamina management and can just focus on doing a lot of damage to the machines. And the nice thing is, it's with whatever melee weapon you choose. The experimental hammer is top of the melee meta, but you can still do a crazy amount of damage with the Brawn Ball Bat, with the almost 4 times stamina boost you get with rad kits. We'll get into that in a second here though. The Brawn Ball Bat really benefits from the Rad Kit. Its loss of damage with low stamina is way more noticeable than the Sledge's. So with infinite stamina, you can just kinda go berserk on machines during the short time frame that you have stamina regen for. So here is a comparison of 3 characters. One with no skills in speed or stamina, one with 1 point in each, and the last with all of them maxed out. You could see the character with no skills falls just shy of Overby Guard, where the other 2 reach the location. But the kinda uncool thing here is that they all cover roughly the same ground. This has been a long-standing issue in Generation Zero. It's been pointed out a bunch of times across the forums, Discord, and by me in videos and stuff, so hopefully that will get fixed up soon, but for now, you can use rad kits to borderline ignore all of the speed skills in this game. Actually, kinda good, maybe not good segue here. I have this radical idea for the skill system in Generation Zero. I've been working on it for about a month now, and I'm getting close to putting the idea out there. It's one of the ideas, just like the past few, where I think you dudes are going to really dig the idea. And it might not be the most possible of ideas, but it's also one I think would be huge for the future of this game. So I guess stay tuned for more on that in the near future. But anyway, I've derailed enough from the main topic here. Essentially, what I'm saying, my dudes, is grind for the rad kits. Use them, and your entire experience of Generation Zero will change. I've filled this video up enough with future stuff and channel plugs, so I just want to say here at the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. Your dude's support has been absolutely legendary on my channel over the past month now, and I cannot thank you dudes enough for being here and taking your time to nerd out with me about Generation Zero. So, cheers my dudes, and I will catch you all in the next one. Until then, peace.